Hello and welcome. My name is Angela Sullivan. I'm going to be your instructor for this semester. And I just want to take a brief moment to kind of walk you through what your experiences are going to be like getting started through Canvas for our class this semester. So if you would look at our screen, and when you log into Canvas for the very first time, you might see one tile, you might see multiple tiles as you see right here. You're going to want to navigate to the tile that lists the course that you're actually in. If you happen to see a tile, one of these little boxes here, that refers to your iCampus orientation, make sure you go through the iCampus orientation. It is required for all students enrolled into an online or a hybrid class for the first time. And it's important for you to have a great understanding of how Canvas is set up and how it can be beneficial that you know all different areas of Canvas. So please click on that if you do have that tile there. Meantime, I'm going to click on one of my classes that I'm teaching this semester, and I'm going to walk you through the process of what to do when you get started with one of my classes. So when we click on the actual class tile, you can see right here that this may or may not be the class that you're actually taking, but kind of wanted to walk you through what it looks like. First thing, you'll be greeted by a welcome message from me. So here's a little welcome message. You'll also see what I'm hoping that you get out of the very first module, which I'll walk you through in just a second. And those items are listed down here. And again, it's very dependent on the class that you actually are enrolled in. So after you read through my welcome message, it does say to get started, you're going to move on to Module 1. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see that there's modules listed over here. And, be aware that all instructors at JJC may do different things in their left side navigation bar. Mine happens to be pretty short. Some people keep theirs long. Some people have links to the discussions and assignments, whereas I have mine pretty slimmed down, and I really would like students to click on modules to get started. So we're going to click on modules. And as you'll see, it's going to list all the different modules I have for the course so far. So the very first thing that you're going to see here is going to be this course information or getting started module. And so the first thing you'll see listed is about your professor. This kind of explains who I am, what I've done, what my credentials are, what classes I teach, what different subject areas, etc. So I encourage you to read through it, though it's not required. It's a great way for you to meet me in a remote online setting. The next thing you're going to see is two different syllabi. So the very first one that you'll see right here is going to be all about the actual course that you're in. It'll talk about required textbooks, if there is any. It'll also provide you my contact information, what the student learning objectives are for the course, and what I'm hoping that you get out of the class. So all the information that's listed inside of the course information syllabus is specific to the class that you're enrolled into. The second syllabus that you see right here is pretty much the same syllabus across the board for all the classes, all the policies that I use as an instructor or that the college has. So things you'll find inside the JJC and course policies are how to submit homework, late submission if you're going to submit an assignment late. So it goes through all those policies that I have for my classes, as well as all of JJC's policies, such as academic standards, or if you need assistance to get to the tutoring department, or disability services, or withdrawing from a course. Hopefully not, but all those different policies that JJC has set forth are listed inside of the course policies. You are asked and required to read both of these different syllabi so that way you have a great understanding of the expectations from me to you and then you to me. The next thing you'll see listed there is going to be our virtual or office hours and advising hours. So this semester, all of the office hours are going to be set up virtually. So again, if you click on this, you'll see that there will be a link provided to you for times that you can log into our Teams account, which is a Microsoft platform, similar to the also trendy Zoom, but this is what our JJC College campus is using. So again, look at the hours that are available there. There are some listed inside of there specific for advising appointments, which is unique one-on-one conversations in which we can talk about your academic pathways and careers. Those require advanced appointments, and I do block those out in 30-minute windows, so we've got ample time to talk about whatever questions you have, for me to provide guidance as to what classes are being offered, etc. And then, like I said, there also are going to be virtual office hours in which you'll find me online at the given times that I've specified. And there'll be a link there for you to click on just to kind of jump in. And the virtual office hours is a great way for the CIS students to connect with me. We'll talk about questions that you might have specific to your class. Nothing individualized for you, but your classmates might also jump in at the exact same time and ask questions. So it's kind of just like a common area for us to touch base. And then there's different times for the CIS courses as well as for the game classes. The conversations oftentimes don't overlap between those classes, so I've got them set up as 2 separate time slots, so be aware of that. The next thing you'll see is the withdrawal date. Again, I've got this blocked out so that way you don't feel like I told you an exact date, but every class has a specific withdrawal date. And basically what that means is if you've enrolled into a class and it's just not working out for you, maybe life happens, hopefully you didn't get sick or the COVID, but whatever your rationale is, we're not here to question it or anything, just that there's a policy of withdrawing from it and there's a date that you have to do it by. There is a drop date, in which case, that's in the very beginning of the semester, and that involves your financial side of things, whereas the withdrawal date is typically after those first few days of the class. If you want to withdraw from the class, there isn't a refund for the course at that point, but it also doesn't show up as the current letter grade that you are earning in the class. It shows up as a withdrawal, and so it does not have any impact on your GPA when you withdraw from a course. So just note that your class will have a specific date provided there for you to be aware of if you need to. All right, next thing you'll see in this particular class, I've got actual data files. You may or may not see that. Again, it depends on the class that you are enrolled in. And then you're going to start seeing each of the modules listed right here. And I'll just kind of scrub through some of these real quick. So you can see that I've identified them with a module number and then the dates in which that whole sequence of events that take place inside of here are to be completed within that window of time. And then there's always going to be a due date for those. So for each one of these, I'm going to try to provide to you a chapter objectives. Again, each class is kind of structured a little differently, but in this case, there's going to be a list of different objectives that we're going to go through, the different tasks in which you are being asked to complete. If I have any additional resources for you to watch or click on. Again, some of these are going to be required, and a lot of these in this particular example here are just additional resources. So before you go seeking out to YouTube, the land of lost time, I encourage you to see if there are any resources that I provide to you within the module that will potentially assist you with your week's assignments or the topics that we're covering, rather than you going out into YouTubeville and just typing in random things or things that you're stuck on. There's a good chance that if I provided you with a resource, it will be very specific to whatever the topics are that we covered for the week. And again, that's specific to the class, to the different resources that I have available. As the semester goes on, this page tends to get really long, so you'll see that next to your modules, you have little arrows, so you can also collapse and expand these modules. It doesn't delete them, don't worry, but it provides you an opportunity to shrink those down when you're done with them, and then obviously you move on to the next one. As I'd mentioned at the very beginning of this, I always encourage my students to go through modules to get to the course information. While I understand that the calendar is over here on the left-hand side and the dashboard is up here, and those do list upcoming due dates for assignments, what it doesn't list is the data files that you might need to download or the objectives. And it also won't list any videos that I posted or PowerPoints. It only lists the assignments. And if you jump right to the assignment and you don't know what the expectation is for you to read or watch or listen to, you might find yourself more confused or spending more time than necessary on completing your assignments than if you would go through the different materials that I've requested that you either read, watch, or participate in. So hopefully that explains why we want you to always go through modules versus through your calendar or through the actual dashboard. Moving forward, pretty much the rest of the classes will be set up pretty much the exact same way. So I hope this is a great introduction to how the class will be set up and how for you to get started. I look forward to meeting all of you. I also want you to know that while we are in these uncertain times and we are teaching these classes remotely, we do not have any, my classes do not have any in-campus or on-campus or in-person meetings. Everything that we are going to be teaching you is going to be remote. There aren't going to be specific login times for you to join in on the class. Again, there will be specific times in which my virtual office hours are available or times in which advising is available. But otherwise, all the resources will be there. I don't want anybody to ever feel like they're alone or going through this alone. You will see that there will be discussion forums throughout the weeks and the modules. These are, again, ideally there for you to start to make a connection with your peers in the class. For you guys to learn who each other are, start making those relationships and building. It's a great way for networking, whether it be in this class or another class or even outside of class, for different jobs and opportunities that are available, etc. So I hope that you enjoy the class. I hope that you start to make connections with your peers, and I look forward to having you in class this semester. Good luck.